Welcome, dear friends, to this exploration of one of life's most profound questions. What did the Buddha really teach us? It's a topic that resonates deeply with anyone seeking peace, meaning, and clarity in a world full of chaos. Today, we'll dive into the essence of Buddhism, focusing on one of the most transformative teachings ever shared by the Buddha himself. Whether you're new to Buddhism or someone revisiting its teachings, let's walk this path together with open hearts and curious minds. The beginning of wisdom, a timeless question. Imagine this. Over 2,500 years ago, a prince named Siddhartha Gautama renounced his royal life in search of the truth. He didn't set out to start a religion. He sought a solution to the suffering that plagues humanity. Through years of meditation, introspection, and teaching, he became the Buddha, the enlightened one. His discoveries weren't for a select group, they were meant for all beings. In the Dhammapada, a collection of 423 verses attributed to the Buddha, we find his teachings distilled into simple yet powerful truths. These verses are divided into 26 chapters, and among them lies the heart of his message. 1. Avoid all evil. 2. Cultivate good. 3. Purify your mind. Avoiding evil, the first step. When the Buddha advised us to avoid all evil, he wasn't merely talking about grand acts of harm or malice. Instead, he addressed the subtle, everyday tendencies of the mind: anger, jealousy, laziness, and selfishness. These evil qualities aren't inherently external forces, they arise from within us. Why is evil so easy? Think about it. How often do we feel a surge of anger when someone cuts us off in traffic, or jealousy when a friend achieves something we've long desired? These emotions surface almost effortlessly, like weeds in a garden left untended. The Buddha recognized this tendency and called on us to be mindful of these thoughts and emotions. Imagine someone insults you in a meeting. Your immediate reaction might be anger or even retaliation. But the Buddha would encourage you to pause and reflect. What good does my anger achieve? How can I respond with patience instead? Recognizing the roots of evil. Evil stems from three core defilements, often called the three poisons. 1. Greed. The insatiable desire for more, be it wealth, power, or recognition. 2. Hatred. The burning resentment that clouds our judgment and leads to harm. 3. Delusion. A misunderstanding of life's impermanent and interconnected nature. By identifying these roots, we can start the work of avoiding their influence. But the Buddha didn't stop at avoidance. He gave us tools to replace negativity with something transformative. Cultivating good. A path of positivity. The second part of the Buddha's teaching is equally vital. Cultivate the good. If avoiding evil is about clearing the weeds, then cultivating good is about planting and nurturing flowers in our mental garden. What does good look like? Goodness isn't just about grand gestures. It's found in everyday acts of kindness, patience, and understanding. The Buddha emphasized the importance of developing wholesome qualities like a loving kindness, wishing happiness for all beings, a compassion, karuna, feeling empathy and offering help to those who suffer, a patience, khanti, enduring difficulties with grace and understanding, a generosity, dana, sharing what we have with others without expectation. Changing ingrained habits isn't easy. Think about learning a new skill, like playing the piano. At first, it feels awkward and unnatural. But with practice, your fingers start to flow effortlessly across the keys. Similarly, cultivating qualities like patience and compassion requires consistent effort. Suppose you're in a heated argument with a loved one. Instead of escalating, you take a deep breath and respond calmly. This small act of kindness can transform not only the conversation but also your relationship over time. When we practice goodness, it doesn't just benefit us, it uplifts those around us. Imagine a single candle lighting another. The light multiplies without diminishing the original flame. In the same way, acts of kindness inspire others to do the same. Purifying the mind. The ultimate goal. The Buddha believed that the mind's natural state is pure, like a clear lake. However, it becomes clouded by defilements like greed, anger, and delusion. Purifying the mind is about returning it to its original clarity. How do we cleanse the mind? Meditation is one of the Buddha's most practical tools for mental purification. Through mindfulness and concentration, we can observe our thoughts and emotions without being swept away by them. Consider a glass of muddy water. If you let it sit undisturbed, the dirt settles, and the water becomes clear. Similarly, meditation allows the mind to settle, revealing its inherent clarity. A purified mind isn't just free from negativity. It's a source of wisdom, peace, and joy. It helps us navigate life's challenges with equanimity and grace, bringing a deep sense of fulfillment. Universal teachings for a universal audience. What makes the Buddha's teachings so remarkable is their universality. They aren't tied to a specific religion or culture. They're principles that anyone can practice, regardless of their background. Avoid evil, cultivate good, and purify your mind. These words are a timeless blueprint for a meaningful life. Practical steps to begin your journey. 1. Start small. Practice mindfulness in everyday activities, like eating or walking. 2. Reflect daily. Spend a few minutes each night considering whether your actions were in line with the Buddha's teachings. 3. Seek support. Join a community of like-minded individuals who can encourage and inspire you. As we end this first part of our journey, I invite you to reflect on the Buddha's timeless wisdom. What steps can you take today to avoid evil, cultivate good, and purify your mind? If you're finding value in this exploration, consider subscribing to Buddhism in Modern Life for more insights into living a mindful, compassionate, and joyful life. Together, we can build a community rooted in understanding and growth. Stay tuned for Part 2, where we'll dive deeper into the Buddha's teachings and explore practical ways to embody these principles in our daily lives. Just now, we delved into the essence of Buddhism: avoiding evil, cultivating good, and purifying the mind. These principles are simple in their expression, but profound in their implications. In this part, we'll expand on how these teachings can be woven into the fabric of our daily lives, addressing the challenges we face, the habits we must transform, and the universal truths that underpin our existence. Let's journey deeper into the Buddha's wisdom together, uncovering insights that not only guide us toward happiness, but also empower us to uplift others. The challenge of avoiding evil in a complex world. Understanding the subtle nature of evil. In the modern world, evil might seem like a dramatic term. Most of us don't consider ourselves evil simply because we feel anger, frustration, or envy. Yet the Buddha's teachings remind us that evil often begins in the smallest of actions or thoughts. Take gossip, for example. At first glance, it seems harmless, just casual chatter. But what happens when we speak poorly of someone? It fosters division, misunderstanding, and mistrust. Even if that wasn't our intention, the Buddha encouraged mindfulness in all aspects of life, urging us to recognize and curtail these seemingly insignificant evils before they grow. A modern reflection on anger. Anger is a universal experience. Whether it's sparked by a disagreement with a colleague or frustration over global events, anger can easily dominate our minds. The Buddha taught that anger is like holding a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. It harms us first. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. You feel your frustration rising, and the urge to blame others takes over. Instead of succumbing to anger, try this. Take a deep breath, acknowledge your feelings, and remind yourself that anger won't clear the traffic or get you to your destination any faster. This moment of mindfulness is the first step toward avoiding unnecessary negativity, breaking free from selfishness. Selfishness is another subtle form of evil that often goes unnoticed. It manifests when we prioritize our needs over others without considering the consequences. But selfishness also isolates us, creating barriers between ourselves and those we love. The Buddha's perspective: true happiness comes not from hoarding but from sharing. Whether it's your time, resources, or compassion, giving selflessly brings fulfillment that selfishness never can. The art of cultivating goodness. Small steps, big impact. Planting seeds of kindness. Cultivating good doesn't require grand gestures. Sometimes, it's as simple as smiling at a stranger, holding the door open for someone, or listening without judgment. These small acts, when performed consistently, create a ripple effect that transforms not only our lives, but also the lives of those around us. Example: consider the story of a man who started leaving anonymous notes of encouragement in public places. Over time, people who found these notes began sharing their own acts of kindness, sparking a movement of positivity in the community. Embracing patience and tolerance. The Buddha recognized that patience is one of the most challenging virtues to cultivate, yet it's essential for personal growth. Patience isn't just about waiting. It's about how we wait and how we respond to delays, challenges, and setbacks. The next time you're in a long line, resist the urge to check your phone. Instead, observe your surroundings, breathe deeply, and practice gratitude for the moment. This simple exercise trains the mind to stay calm in situations beyond your control. Living with compassion. Compassion is the cornerstone of goodness. It's the ability to feel empathy for others and take action to alleviate their suffering. But true compassion goes beyond pity. It requires us to see ourselves and others and act with sincerity. Real-life example. During a devastating flood in a rural village, a group of young volunteers worked tirelessly to rescue stranded families, provide food, and rebuild homes. Their compassion not only saved lives but also inspired hope in a time of despair. Replacing old habits with new ones. Change is hard, especially when it involves breaking free from habits that feel comfortable, even if they're harmful. The Buddha's advice? Start small and be consistent. Replace one negative habit with a positive one this week. For example, if you tend to criticize others, challenge yourself to give a genuine compliment each day instead. Purifying the mind. From chaos to clarity. The power of mindfulness. Mindfulness is more than a buzzword. It's a transformative practice rooted in the Buddha's teachings. At its core, mindfulness is about being fully present in each moment without judgment. It's the key to purifying the mind, as it helps us recognize and release negative thoughts before they take hold. Spend 10 minutes each day observing your breath. Whenever your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breathing. Over time, this simple practice can sharpen your focus and reduce mental clutter. Facing the three poisons. As mentioned in Part 1, greed, hatred, and delusion are the three core defilements that cloud the mind. Let's explore how mindfulness helps us confront and overcome them. 1. Greed. Mindfulness reveals the fleeting nature of material desires, helping us appreciate what we have instead of constantly seeking more. 2. Hatred. By observing our anger without judgment, we can disarm its power and respond with patience. 3. Delusion. Mindfulness illuminates the truth of impermanence, allowing us to see life's challenges with clarity and acceptance. The universal relevance of the Buddha's teachings. One of the most beautiful aspects of the Buddha's teachings is their universality. They aren't confined to Buddhist practitioners. They're principles that anyone, regardless of faith or background, can embrace. Think of the Buddha's teachings as a recipe for happiness. Whether you're an artist, engineer, parent, or student, these principles provide a foundation for a life of meaning and purpose, building a support system for growth. Finding your Sangha. In Buddhism, the Sangha refers to a community of practitioners who support one another on the path to enlightenment. Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals can provide the encouragement and accountability needed to stay committed to your journey. Look for meditation groups, book clubs, or online communities where you can share experiences and learn from others. Daily rituals for reflection. Incorporate simple rituals into your routine to reinforce the Buddha's teachings. For example, start each morning with an intention, such as today, I will practice patience. At the end of the day, reflect on how well you upheld that intention. The ripple effect of living mindfully. When we embody the Buddha's teachings, our lives become a source of inspiration for others. People notice the calmness, kindness, and wisdom we exude, and they're drawn to learn more. A teacher who practices mindfulness in the classroom not only improves their own well-being, but also creates a positive learning environment that benefits students. Before moving on to the next part, let's take a moment to reflect. What small step can you take today to align your life with the Buddha's teachings? Whether it's practicing patience, showing compassion, or embracing mindfulness, remember that each action, no matter how small, contributes to a larger transformation. If you're finding these teachings valuable, I encourage you to subscribe to Buddhism in Modern Life. Let's grow together as a community dedicated to living with purpose and compassion. Stay tuned for next part, where we'll tie everything together, explore deeper insights, and discuss how these teachings can lead to lasting happiness and fulfillment. I am glad you are still here for the final chapter in your journey of discovering the Buddha's teachings. In previous parts, we explored the essence of avoiding evil, cultivating goodness, and purifying the mind. Now, it's time to bring everything together, delve deeper into the transformative power of these principles, and discuss how they guide us toward enlightenment and a life of ultimate peace. This part will not only summarize the teachings, but also explore their application on a deeper, spiritual level. It will leave you with actionable steps, timeless wisdom, and a call to action to embrace the Buddha's path in a modern, meaningful way. The path to enlightenment. The Noble Eightfold Path. To understand how the Buddha's teachings lead to enlightenment, we must explore the Noble Eightfold Path, a roadmap to liberation and peace. The path is divided into three key areas: wisdom, panna, ethical conduct, sila, and mental discipline, samadhi. 1. Wisdom, right view and right intention. A right view, seeing the world as it truly is, impermanent and interconnected. This understanding helps us let go of attachments and illusions. Oh, consider a child crying over a broken toy. The child's suffering stems from attachment to the toy, not the loss itself. Similarly, our attachments often cause unnecessary pain. A right intention, aligning our intentions with kindness, compassion, and selflessness. It's the foundation of all our actions. 2. Ethical conduct, right speech, right action, and right livelihood. A right speech, speaking truthfully, kindly, and purposefully. Words have immense power to heal or harm. Oh, imagine calming an upset friend with gentle, supportive words versus criticizing them harshly. One approach fosters healing, the other deepens pain. A right action, acting in ways that respect others and minimize harm. This includes kindness to all beings, humans, animals, and the environment. A right livelihood, choosing a career that aligns with ethical principles. Avoid professions that exploit or harm others. 3. Mental discipline, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. A right effort, cultivating wholesome states of mind while preventing unwholesome ones. Oh, when tempted by envy, consciously replace it with gratitude for what you have. A right mindfulness, being fully present in the moment, observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. A right concentration, developing deep focus through meditation, leading to clarity and tranquility. The Four Noble Truths revisited. At the core of the Buddhist teachings are the Four Noble Truths. 1. Life is marked by suffering. Dukkha, pain, loss, and dissatisfaction are universal experiences. 2. Suffering arises from craving. Tanha, our desires and attachments bind us to the cycle of suffering. 3. Suffering can end. Nirodha, liberation is possible by letting go of attachments. 4. The path to the cessation of suffering is the Noble Eightfold Path, a practical guide to living a life of wisdom, compassion, and peace. Think about a time when you clung to a specific outcome, only to feel disappointed when it didn't materialize. The pain came not from the situation itself, but from the attachment to your expectation. Practical applications of the Buddha's teachings. Mindfulness in daily life. Mindfulness isn't confined to meditation. It's a way of living. From brushing your teeth to having a conversation, being present enhances every experience. During your next meal, eat slowly and savor each bite. Notice the textures, flavors, and aromas. This simple practice cultivates mindfulness and gratitude, overcoming fear and anxiety. The Buddha taught that fear arises from ignorance and attachment. By understanding the impermanence of all things, we can let go of fear. Imagine a difficult conversation you're dreading. Instead of avoiding it, approach it with honesty and compassion, understanding that discomfort is temporary, but resolution brings growth. Building compassionate relationships. Compassion is the glue that binds us to others. It's about seeing beyond someone's flaws to their inherent humanity. When someone irritates you, pause and consider their perspective. Perhaps they're struggling with something you can't see. Respond with kindness instead of judgment. The 5 precepts, a foundation for ethical living. The 5 precepts are simple yet profound guidelines for living ethically. 1. Refrain from harming living beings. 2. Refrain from taking what is not freely given. 3. Refrain from sexual misconduct. 4. Refrain from false speech. 5. Refrain from intoxicants that cloud the mind. These precepts are not rigid commandments but practices that cultivate harmony and mindfulness in our lives. Overcoming modern challenges through Buddhist wisdom, the rat race, and the pursuit of happiness. In today's fast-paced world, we're often caught in a cycle of striving for more success, more possessions, more recognition. Yet, the Buddha reminds us that true happiness lies in simplicity and contentment. What's one thing you can let go of today that doesn't serve your well-being? Social media and comparison. Social media amplifies the tendency to compare ourselves to others, leading to envy and dissatisfaction. The Buddhist teachings encourage us to focus inward rather than seeking validation externally. Limit your screen time and spend more moments in nature, reflecting on the beauty of impermanence and interconnectedness. The ultimate goal, nirvana. Nirvana is the cessation of suffering, a state of ultimate peace and liberation. It's not a distant, mystical concept, but a possibility for anyone who practices the Buddha's teachings diligently. What nirvana feels like. Imagine a life free from the constant push and pull of desires, fears, and attachments. A life where your mind is clear, your heart is open, and your actions are guided by wisdom and compassion. When we embody the Buddha's teachings, we don't just transform ourselves. We influence those around us. A kind word, a selfless act, or a moment of mindfulness can inspire others to embark on their own path of growth. A mother who practices patience and mindfulness not only improves her own well-being, but also sets an example for her children, creating a ripple effect that extends across generations. As we conclude this journey, let's reflect on the Buddha's timeless wisdom. 1. Avoid evil by cultivating mindfulness and ethical conduct. 2. Cultivate goodness through compassion, patience, and generosity. 3. Purify the mind with mindfulness and meditation, releasing the defilements of greed, hatred, and delusion. These teachings are not abstract ideals, but practical tools for living a life of purpose and peace. A challenge for you. This week, commit to practicing one principle from the Noble Eightfold Path. Whether it's right speech, right mindfulness, or right intention, take one step closer to aligning your life with the Buddha's teachings. Finally, if you found value in these lessons, I invite you to subscribe to Buddhism in Modern Life. Let's continue exploring, learning, and growing together as a community. May you be well, may you be happy, and may you find peace on your journey.